So I already updated this PPT information. Just whenever you guys get a time, just please look into that. So the same file is there, no drive as well. So this is the application we have designed so far, right? So just ignore about this behavior concept, and we have created as a database tables. On top of the database tables, we have root entities, child entities we have. So on top of this root entity, we are creating the respective projection entities. From the projection, we are creating the service definition, and then we are doing the service binding. Whereas a metadata extension is optional. So whether you can optional in the sense whether you can create it separately or directly you can create it within the projection itself. So this is what we are doing as of now, right? And today yesterday we have enabled one behavior definition for our root entity. So we can create only one behavior definition for one root entity only, guys. We can't create multiple behavior definitions. We can create only one behavior definition for one entity. Okay. So if required, we can do the behavior extensions. So if required, we know we have the enhancements concept here. We can do the behavior extensions. We can do that. So that and all we will see later now. So this behavior definition contains your actual elements, the declaration part. What are the actions? What are the determinations we are going to do? So just it's kind of a form statement. It is kind of just a for form statement. We are writing in normal above for form, some subroutine name we are giving, right? That one. So there is an implementation of the subroutine. We have behavior implementation. So here each and everything will turn treated as a methods. So if you are going to create any button, so the button respective method will be there. The your whatever name you are providing, the same name, the respective name is available in the behavior implementation. So this behavior implementation having there is a two handler classes. One is a saver class and a handler class. One is saver class and another one is handler class. Okay. Similarly, the projection also, if required, this is the optional part, guys. If required, we can create the behavior definition for projection view as well and the respective behavior implementation for this definition as well. This is not a mandatory. This is optional. Okay, this is the optional. So I will show you that when to use a projection view behavior. So what purpose we have to do, all the things we can do. So practically we can see one a few examples in coming sessions. Okay, practically we'll see a few examples on the coming sessions. So now today concept we are going to discuss with the Rap Bo. So today concept we are going to discuss with the our Rap Bo. So business object. Let's go to our Eclipse. So whatever activities we are done. So let me open our package, the root entity. That is the root entity, this one. So first we need to understand what is the BO. Okay, what is the BO? So I'm saying BO, right? What is the BO? Let here there is one option, guys. We have just go to Windows, show view, choose Relation Explorer, choose Relation Explorer. Just click on link to editor. Let me keep it here. So now you can see it's showing GR underscore travel underscore 0226, which is having our BO. So this BO contains your behavior definition under the respective child entities. Right. So now, what is the BO? The abbreviation of BO is so BO contains your data models and the behavior and implementations. So the data models in the sense the whatever entities we have created, right? The child entities or parent entity, I mean root entity and child entities. Those entities are your structure. These are the semantic data models. Okay, these are the semantic data models. So now we have enabled a behavior definition. We have enabled a behavior definition, right? So in the behavior definition contains some set of features we have, like thread operations we have, and we are going to create some other actions we are going to create. So the behavior part. So it is one of the behavior part, and also the runtime implementations, how we are going to this behavior behaves in your application. So these are the three parts we have. These are the three parts we have. What is our BO contains? Now, this is the small diagram for this. So, your data models, your BO consists of your data models, which contains your compositions and root nodes or chain nodes, all the views which we have. And the second part is it contains a behavior. So, the behavior having the CRUD operations and actions, functions, logs, tag, authorization. This everything will comes under your behavior part only. There is a one more option. We have runtime implementation. This is very, very important. So the runtime implementation. This runtime implementation having a save sequence. Okay, in the runtime implementation, we have interaction phase, transactional buffer, and a save sequence. There's a three phases we have. If we need to understand these phases, we need to understand these phases. So now this is the abbreviation we have discussed now. It is a structured semantic data model of our business entity process. It encapsulates the data and operations. It encapsulates the data and operations. So this entire part we can call it as a behavior part. Okay. This entire part, the whatever actions we are creating, this entire is a behavior. How this behave by using this behavior, how your application is going to behave at runtime, this phase will decide. This phase will be decided. Okay, this phase will be decided whenever you are creating the behavior having respect to implementation. So the implementation has in already I said there is an implementation having two classes. It will be generated. We have one is handle class and another one is saver class. Okay, those classes we can call it as a behavior pool classes. So those behavior pool classes will call it, these are the handler class and saver class. So what handler class will do? What handler class will do? Anyone has idea? Right. So it will hit the handler class. At which phase? So just now I have shown you there's a runtime implementation, three phases we have. Interaction phase, transaction buffer, and save sequence. In which phase it will trigger this handler class? Interaction phase. So interaction phase. So whatever implementation you are doing that, so those handle class implementations will be triggered at your interaction phase. So further, there is a super class which will inherit from this one, serial underscore abap underscore behavior handler. Okay. You are not going to create it, guys, manually, but system is going to generate this. Okay. We are not going to create this separate class and all. Once if you are, when you double click on that behavior definition, there is a we are providing implementation class. So at that time, it will be created automatically by inheriting this. Similarly, a saver class. This saver class will be triggered during the save sequence phase. It will trigger during the save sequence phase. For that, we have the interface as sorry inherit. We have the super classes. This one CL underscore abap underscore behavior underscore saver. So behavior underscore saver class. Okay, so this class will be triggered in the save sequence phase. This class will be triggered in the save sequence phase. So there is a huge difference. We have interaction phase and save sequence. In between, we have the transaction buffer is also there. Okay, in between transaction buffer is also there. So imagine my application, we are interacting with the data. So first the data will be entered into the interaction phase where the users are going to interact with the screen, they're entering the data, right? So the name itself, we have interaction phase. When the users are entering to the screen, they're in the input fields, they're entering the values, and there is a we have the button, right? Like you can see we have the button as a save button or create button or delete button, right? So whatever data in the screen, the data it will go to the save this saver class, and it is going to perform the save activity. But user point, there's a front end point of view, we don't know like where it is going to execute. But only users can able to see, they can enter the data, they can click on the save. Right? User point of view, simply they can enter the data, then they can click on save. So in the back end, what is happening, they don't know. But as a developer, we need to understand that when the user is interacting your application, they're going to enter the data. That is your interaction phase. So the moment when you click on save, Okay, the moment when you click on save or some other determinations we are writing, so at that time your data will be there in the directly interaction phase. This data will go and sit into the transaction buffer first. So your data will go into the transaction buffer. So the moment when you click on the save, okay, the moment when you click on the save, whatever data is present in the transaction buffer, the data will take it and it will carry forward to your save sequence. Okay, the data will take it and it will move to the save sequence phase. In the save sequence phase, so we are going to insert the data. We are going to insert the data. In the save sequence phase, we know we are sometimes in normal VH01 transaction when you are creating sales order. So we have the user exists underscore move fields to VBAK is there. So similarly, we have save document prepare, save document check, I mean get document something after save. We have some methods are there, right? In the user exists save document prepare we have save document we have. Similarly, in the save sequence also we have finalize method, check before save method. And if you want to adjust any numbers, like if I want to do any number ranges, okay, the number ranges either I can enter, I can create a one new number range in the interaction phase. I can create a number range in the new interaction phase, or else I can create a number range in the during save, or else I can create the number range in the during save. For that, we have adjust numbers method will be there. And after that, we have the finally save method is there. After that, finally a save method is there. So we will take one simple example like we are saying number ranges, right? So for example, now can say, let's go to our application. This. Go to application. Let me open V2 since it is a non-draft application. So fine. So now you can see I'm going to click on create now. I want to create one new instance of travel. When I click on create, so at that time, this travel ID is the key field, right, for us. Whether I want to go and generate this number, immediately I can display over here. Okay, I can display over here. And or else, there might be initially itself this field is blank. The moment when you click on create, so the data will reach to save sequence and it will generate the number to you automatically. So that is a case. So now here the problem is if you are generating the number, if you are generating the number here, so we are using as a number range objects, or else we are writing the select query, we are doing +1, right? With the highest record, we are doing +1. So if you are doing this and some maybe due to some reason you cancel it. You don't want from click and you cancel it. So if you are using as a number range object, whatever number system got generated, the number is adjusted, right? I mean, that is already stored in the somewhere in we have that backend in SAP system. So at the some other person is trying to create a data. So at that time again he can open this instance, he will get a new number. There is a gap will happen, right? Suppose if I assign this number during create, that is in my save sequence level. So if I assign the save sequence level, there is that gap free numbers you can build it. That is one of the advantage we have. So that we will see in the practical. So now let's understand this implementation concept, guys. This is very, very important. So interaction phase and the transactional buffer save sequence. First, we will focus on this interaction phase. Okay, first we will focus on this interaction phase. Now this is our application. The moment I'm entering the data over here, so the name itself interaction. We are interacting the business application. We are interacting the screen. Okay, we are entering the travel. Here we are entering the travel ID in interaction phase. So the moment when I am entering the travel ID, okay. So now the data will be there in the interaction phase. Okay, data will be there in the interaction phase. It's clear? At the moment when I click on create, so it will read the data from the interaction phase and it will go to your transactional buffer. So in the transactional buffer, if you want, you can do whatever modifications if you want, you can do that. So we can do your internal table modification or something. We are updating some values, some other calculation, you can do that. So whatever after doing this, all the changes, I mean all the data changes, it will move to your save sequence. Once it will enter into the save sequence, so here it will finalize this one and check before save and adjust number save method will be triggered. And commit statement will not be there guys here because the RAF framework will take care of that commit activity. So your RAF framework will take care of your commit activity. So these are the three phases we have. This is also one of the interview question. What are the BO runtime or what are the phases we have in that BO? Interaction phase, transitional buffer, and save sequence. So interaction phase where users are entering the data and it will get the data from interaction phase. While writing EML statements, you will understand that interaction phase clearly. So we are writing statements, read entities of, I want to read the user entered data from the screen. I want to enter the user entered data so that I need to read the data from the interaction phase. So for that time, we have the read operation. So if you want to modify the data, we have the modify operation for logging. Also, we have log concepts are there using InQ and DQ function modules. So once it will enter into the save sequence, only you have these are the controls we have. So within this level only you can do that. So any question on this? It is common for both. So these phases will be common for both. It may be unmanaged scenario or managed scenario. Okay. These three phases are same. But in managed scenario, here we have there is another two more methods will two more options we have come guys. One is your managed application is standalone. Either you can go with managed with unmanaged save or managed with additional save. There is a two options. One more we have. So based on the requirement, we can choose these two options. If you are building a managed application, fine. If you want with the additional save feature, we can use it if required. With the additional save, we can use if required. Okay. But in managed application, so this framework will take care of these three phases. You don't worry on it. System should control. You have RAP framework have full control on this. Whereas the unmanaged scenario, you are the responsible person to all these phases. Okay. You have to take care of all these responsibilities. Your framework will not involve in this area. You have to build your all the data first for reading activity purpose. We have to write and any modifications if you are going to create those all operations, everything you have to take care of it. Okay. So now let's go for another concept that is the derived types. So in derived types is nothing but like in normal ABAP we have the structure declaration, right? So you are declaring structures, internal tables. How you are declaring by using data keyword, we are declaring the structures. Data, something GS underscore Mara, which is a type Mara. So here is my Mara is my structure name, right? Similarly, we are declaring as internal tables, right? Type table of we are using. So now in our RAP application, we have the behavior definition derived types. So BDEF derived types we have. Behavior definition derived types. For this and all, how you are going to do? So for this all, we have only one BO we have, right? So our BO is Jadar underscore travel underscore 0226. This is our BO, right? We have created, guys, our business object. So let's take our router, GR underscore travel, this one. Right. So our BO is this one. Now I want to take this help of this BO and I need to use it here. For example, if it is a structure, this name So I can specify my structure, my PO name over here. Now tell me this structure, what purpose you are creating? What purpose you are creating? This structure. But in normal ABAP, you don't need to specify the purpose here. Directly you can take with the help of this, you can delete data from Mara table, right? We can load the data into this variable, we can delete it, or else you can create it, or else you can modify it. But here in RAP, it's not like that. So you need to specify GS underscore Mara is going to perform what activity. So that you need to specify. So type, this is the, since this is a structure, you need to specify clearly structure for create. If you are going to use this structure for create operation, you need to mention like this. Type structure for create. If it is an update, you can use as an update. If it is a delete, you can use for delete. Okay. In case if you are dealing with the internal table, here instead of structure, you can keep it as a table. Type table. Type table for create. Type table for delete. Type table for update. Okay. We need to specify like this. So suppose you need one internal table to read the data from your VO. So I'm taking GT underscore travel. So this internal table actually I'm going to get the data from my business object, like your normal select query we are writing. So this time you are reading the data from your VO, right? So I can write type table for read result. Read result or VO. GR underscore travel underscore 0226. Okay. In case if you are importing the data from the Vivo, you can write read import. Read import. So we have to write like this, guys, and these are the options we have derived types like structure types, how we are going to define. So these are the structures you can write type structure for your respective Vivo name. And in case of table types, we can write like this for update, delete, and read. We have the read import and read result and response parameters, response for mapped, response for early. And here we have option response for mapped, response for failed, response for reported. All these things we have to use. And in case if you are going to deal with the actions, so type table for action import that the specific name here, PO align with your action. In case if I want to read that association or child entities data, we have to do like this. Type table for your parent forward slash underscore the child entity name. So these declarations are very, very important now in RAP when you are working it. If it is a normal ABAP query, you can write normal ABAP syntax. There is no issue like type table of those things and we can write it. But in case if you are dealing with your business object, we have to do like this. So is clear or any question on this? Fine. So we have seen these derived types. Let's see what are the components of these derived types. Okay, we'll see the components of derived types. For example, now can say I'm declaring one internal table. For example, one action I'm going to create, like GT underscore travel type table for create. So our BY is GR underscore travel underscore 0226. My screen is clear, right, guys? Or it is a font size is very small. Yeah, fine. So now you can say I have declared one internal table. For with the help of this internal table, I am going to create a travel record. So let's see what are the fields we have, like what are the elements inside we have. Just place the cursor here. You can press F1, sorry, press F2. So these are your derived types, guys. These are your derived types. Since your BO having these are the fields, we have content ID, travel ID, agency ID, And you can scroll down, you can see there's a control structures will be created. Control structure in the sense sometimes we are going to update the records, right? So in BAPIS, we are passing X structure, right? You remember? Whatever field you are changing, you are passing X indicator. The same way here we have, whenever if you are going for update level, so you will get this, whichever field we are updating, we can mark control structures. Okay, the control structures we have, and we will see these all the components. What is this? The percentage data, percentage key, these components and all we will see. So now these are the fields we have. Now we have to declare like this. You have to fill the information. If you are going to create with the help of if you want to create by using this Vivo, you need to pass all this information in the internal table. Then you can use the create operation, it will come. Okay. So we have to declare like this. So these are the derived components we have. So components of our behavior definition. So it will vary from action to action, your BO to BO, guys. So here just the screenshot I'm taking as some other reference purpose. I have taken this. So this is a demo CS wrap RO underscore M. There's a percentage CID and a key field. All this information we have. So let's understand this. What is percentage CID, percentage data, percentage key? Okay, we have multiple derived fields are there. So first we'll go one by one. Percentage CID. Okay, what percentage CID will do is it is a temporary key in your internal table, which means like in normal above we are creating your internal table, right? Just I'm saying for just a sample reference, guys. In your internal table, so when you open in the debug, automatically there is a site tab X, there is a row index will be inserted, right? Row index will be there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, like that numbering. So here also, whenever you are if you want to create any record, you need to provide the unique identifier in this field. It should be a free text, you can give any name. Percentage CID, it is a free text, you can give any name. For each record, you need to provide one unique identifier. If I am going to create 10 records in my internal table, you need to provide 10 unique identifiers. So this is my table. This is my table. This is my CID field, right? So I am taking C1. So this is C2. So this is C3. I'm going to create this. This is a temporary ID. It will not store any database table. This is the temporary table, temporary ID in your system. At runtime only this data is available temporary. So, but whatever values here you are entering here, so in this internal table, this data will go and sit into your respective table. Just it is the identifier only. This column is for only percentage CID is the identifier only. Okay, percentage CID means content ID. It is a temporary key used to identify the records within the entity. Okay, and there is a one more we have. I think here it is not showing percentage CID underscore reference. Percentage CID underscore reference. So content ID reference. Content ID reference. So that also same. It is also temporary key. So when we are going to use this, now we can see we have the header and item combination like sales order item, right? So now you are creating a internal table with header data. This is C1. So I want to create multiple items for this. So we have, again, here you will get the content CID reference, guys. So in the CID reference, what is my reference is C1. So this is my item 1. This is the content ID. Again, for this internal table, we have the content ID separate. Okay, here I'm taking item 1. So the content ID reference C1. So if I take C2, so I will take some different name item 2, C2. So item 2. So now system will understand while inserting the data into the database table. Okay, these two records belongs to this header. These two records belongs to this header, and these two records, C2 records belongs to this record. So this is your reference. You have to mention reference compulsory when you are dealing with the if you are trying to populate records with associate child entities. Okay, child entities. But these fields at runtime only a system, the framework is trying to identify. So if you do any mistake, definitely it will throw the dump. If you do any mistake, it will throw the dump in the screen. The content ID related issues, so you have invalid or so, so content ID is missing or so, so you will get a dump immediately. This clear for content ID and the CID reference. CID is mandatory. Okay. So content ID reference when you are trying to use for child entities, right? I need to say, okay, this is my parent and that content ID reference I need to provide. Then again for this it has one. So let me see here. Okay, I'm trying to take booking. Right. Let's have to. So now can see we have the content ID reference here. We have content ID reference. Okay. So the target values we are providing, right? And you click on this, which is for type table for create so and so. The derived types we have, we can see again percentage CID. First, system is asking for which reference you are creating. That reference you need to specify. Then the target values you have to map. Okay. Clear, guys? Or any question on this? So there is one more we have percentage PID. Okay. So percentage PID we have. So percentage PID. So this is it is nothing but preliminary ID. So it is used when your application having the late numbering. So that time PID will come, guys. So when you are designing the application with the late numbering, so this PID will be enabled. We have to populate this PID value. Okay. And there is one more we have seen percentage control, right? Percentage control. The name itself we have control. So it is used to control the UI elements and operations. Okay, it is used to control the UI elements and operations. Sometimes so now you can say I don't want this button based on some condition. I want to disable this button, or else I want to disable this input field. So those things and all we can do that percentage control. Okay, and when suppose if you are going to update records at that time, if you are populating control structure here we have, right. So F2. So percentage control we have. So these are all your UI elements. We need to provide this flag. Okay. So if you have any actions and all, those action names also will come, guys, here. So you'll get one more action here, and inside the actions you will get it. Percentage control. This is going to control the behavior of UI elements. So there is a one more we have percentage key. Already we have seen, right? No? Fine. So there is a thing we have two fields. We have percentage key. So this key contains, we are creating a serious entities, right? Our root entity. So in the root entity, what are the key fields are there? Those fields it will bring. It contains your primary key fields. Okay. It contains your primary key fields. It's clear. Percentage key contains your primary key fields. So in your Vivo, now in our Vivo we have, this is the only one field, right? Key field. When I'm creating a one variable with respect to this Vivo, so my key field, the percentage key is carrying only this travel ID. Okay, percentage key is only carrying this travel ID. Okay. Whereas there is another word we have. So percentage TKY. This is also interview questions, guys. All are interview questions. This definitely they will ask. Percentage TKY. So this percentage TKY is the combination of percentage key. It contains your key fields plus if your application is enabled draft application, so you will get the draft value as well. Percentage is underscore draft. Percentage is underscore draft. If your application you enable as a draft application, you will get this one is draft. So percentage takeaway, you can refer it. It contains both your key field information along with your draft information. So which is a requirement, which is required to use this one, guys. It's not a mandatory, but whether you can go for this percentage key or is draft individually, you can handle it. Or else directly if I refer this percentage TKY, so both the data you will get together. So percentage draft is for our draft indicator, guys. It represents the draft indicator. You will get the draft indicator like 01. Yes, it is a draft enable application. So 00, which is not draft, you will get like this. Whether draft data or not, you will identify that here. So there is one more we have percentage TKY. T key. Sorry. Percentage T key. This is a transactional key. So this is also an interaction phase we are using. So this is transactional. So this is our transactional key. For internal processing purpose, we are using this, and we'll see during runtime where we'll get this value. Here it's not showing for me. So we'll see this percentage T key. We'll see in that during practical sessions. So, but so far you can remember this is TKV is the transactional key. So this is also a unique identifier, and it will be there in the interaction phase we have. It will be there in the interaction phase. Okay, so now we are seeing these control structures, draft indicators, all these things, right? So we are saying this flag value, like in normal ABAP, we are passing ABAP underscore true, ABAP underscore false, those parameters, right? Here we are going to use as a one interface parameters, guys. So we have ABAP ABP underscore BEHV underscore FLG. So we have to use that. Let me go to this. So this is the one just now explained, percentage CID, content ID reference. So content ID reference, I have given here sales order example. We have sales order number and item number. If you are going to create multiple sales orders, I have multiple headers like H1, H2, H3 will be there. And I'm going to the, while populating the item in the internal table, we need to specify CID reference as a H1 and the CID for items. You have to fill the line item data. So this is a PID, preliminary ID, percentage control, and the TKY and the key. So the main difference is this is the is draft indicator. So this is the percentage TKY, which is also a transactional key and uniquely identified at the interaction phase. Is draft. So now constants and the behavior definition. The flag values where you can get it. Now you can see we have to use this, guys. ABAP underscore BEHV underscore flag. We have this structured constant. So this will like we can say it will come as a 01 or 00, the indicators. Here we don't have any X or Y indicator, which it may be a 00 or 01. Okay. In case if you're going to deal with the future control, like I can enable button, disable and all, we can use this. Field controls or action controls, we can use this interface. IF underscore ABAP underscore BEHV, SC-F. So these are very, very important, guys. In our upcoming sessions, we are going to use all these things. Okay. So we are going to use all these things. Any question on this? Hello. Right. So the next one is by using all this above information, we are going to learn as a EML, entity manipulation language. Okay. Now, so far, you know how to declare the variables, right? You know how to declare the variables variable with respect to our Vivo. Then our Vivo contains what are the derived types, you know, how to use those derived types. So now by using those two things, and we can create one simple programs using EML statements. So here it maybe you can interact with your standard BOs or you can interact with your custom BOs. Standard BOs we have sales order, delivery, billing. Okay, there are many standard BOs which are available in our SAP system. We can interact with those BOs. So for that we need to understand these EML statements, entity manipulation language. When you are writing these BO statements, so this is just a simple theory, guys. It is very less only. In normal above, we are writing select query, right? Select query we are writing to read the data, but here we have a different query. We have read entities of. Sorry, someone is saying. Fine. So this EML statements will allows you to interact with our business object for creating or updating or changing or deleting your models. Okay, your trade operations. So in case if you want to read the data from the CDS view, directly you can write a select query. You can write a select query. Then no, there is no issue. So, but if you want to read the data from BIVO, definitely you have to write EML statement. When you are writing EML statement, so we have, let me write a simple query for these guys. I'm writing read entities of. I'm writing simple select query here, read entities of this, and I want to read my entity name. What are the entity I have to read from booking and travel entity I want to read. So I want all fields. If you want to specify with the specific fields also with the value hash, I need to specify my internal table means our key values which we are passing. Okay, so here we need to capture the data. I'm taking a result. So the respective internal table. So in previous we have seen type result, type read for result, right? We have declared here. Now can see we can declare one internal table, type table for result, so respective entity. You can use that result on internal table, or else straight away we can declare data lt underscore result. Then no need of declaration, right? So the result statement will returns the result of your read operation. Okay, it returns the results of your read operation. For this, either you can declare directly from declaration, then you can use it over here. If you are good in the inline declaration, you can do that. So here you are writing right in normal above, we have size of RC, zero, or something checks we are doing. But here, so we need to know that which operation got failed. Okay, which operation got failed. So I have to write failed entities. So I'm declaring my information LT underscore failed. So type table for failed. Now can see, sorry, type response for failed. We have to declare this. Or else I can declare like this. So this failed specifies that in your operations we are calling, right? Your read entity statement you are calling, right? So it will tell you that which trigger operation is failed. That operation information which is available here. That triggered operation, which one is failed? Suppose if you are reading with the multiple entities and all, so at that time we don't write which one is failed, which one is success. So now here you can get to know that in this. So the reported, one more is we have reported. So I'm going to declare as internal table here itself, lt underscore reported. So this contains your actual message. The messages is written from the triggered operation, like invalid data. no records found. Such kind of message is available here. Meaningful information which contains the which triggered operation is failed. The operation failed information which is available. The respective messages are available here, guys. Okay, so this is up to your one read entity statement, and there is sometimes we are going to write mapped also. Uh, just I'm showing this. I'm not going to write anything now. So mapped. There is one more option. We have mapped. So these parameters, this mapped parameters provide the information about how your IDs are mapping to the result. So how your IDs are mapped to the result. For that, we have to declare like this type response for map. So this is also interview questions, guys. They will ask you in interviews. Okay. And coming to one more point here, sometimes when we are writing these entity operations, we have a few keywords like I can use in local mode. Okay, in local mode I can write, and there is a one more keyword I can write privileged mode. I can write privileged mode. These two are very important. This is also a interview question. So what is the when you are writing a EML statement, EML operation, we are writing in local mode. What is the use of this in local mode? So if you specify the keyword as in local mode, it will skip the standard authorization checks. Okay, it will skip the standard authorization checks that will perform in the Rap Bo. That will performs in the Rap Bo. Since sometimes we are going to modify the data, right? By using this BO, we are going to modify the data. Those checks and all, it will bypass it. Whether if you have authorization or something, if any checks are there inside, those checks and all, it will bypass it. Suppose if I mention as a privileged mode. Okay, this is also, it will perform, this is also used to bypass the authorization checks at the behavior definition level. Okay, so this is also perform the it will perform the authorization checks. What authorization checks and all it will perform? We have some standard checks are there. Sometimes UI controls we have like some UI elements they marked as a read only. Some other checks we have. These checks and all it will bypass it. You can use. So these two are the interview questions, guys. What is the use of in privileged mode? What is the use of in local mode when you are specifying? So for read entities level, very rare cases we can use, but most of the cases when you are using as modify entities, okay, when we are using modify entities at that time, we can do this. So since we are going to modify the data, right? So, okay. What system is saying the statement allows to privileged access to the business software. This can only be used on the BO entity. So with the privileged mode. Let me open this a short description for this. Now it enable the behavior definition privileged mode for Rap BO. So BO consumers can circumvent authorization checks such as a Rap authorization control. So it will bypass it. These two things. So in local mode and privileged mode. So they have given as a simple example also. There is an executable example. So we have also defines the authorization checks for disable and register for use of privilege mode. It demonstrate. So example programs also is available, guys. Whenever you get a time, just have it. Anyway, practically, we are going to do these upcoming sessions. So first, we need to focus on these read entities, modify entities, all this information. So this is what we have explained. Result, fail, reported, mapped in local mode and privileged. So now these are the statements which you are going to perform. So modify entities, read entities, and permissions, set locks. Like in normal above, we are writing, sorry, whenever you are modifying the sales order, First we are locking the order, then we are modifying, then we are releasing, right? So the same concept here also. First you can set the lock, then do the modify, then release the lock. So here also same concept which we have. So our next upcoming 2 or 3 sessions, we are going to work on these EML statement, guys. So next 2 or 3 sessions, we are going to work on these EML statements, and also we'll work on these standard VOs. We'll work on these standard business objects. We'll go to this and click on Explorer. So business object interfaces. So business object interfaces. Just let me search for can take sales order. So now you can see we have the BOs which are released. Sales order for bill of material. So what you can choose whatever BO you want. Just let go ahead, click on this. So now this is my released BO. By using this BO, I can create a sales order. I can update the sales order. For updating the sales order, so this information I need to pass. So my query should be like this, guys. My data should be like this. For if you can see the same, we are writing here also read entities of fire underscore sales. This is the BO name, this is the entity name from value, which this is your where condition like this, and the results reported and paid. For creation, update prices. So this is for a different action, like they're executing one action. So update prices. Now here you can see they're just modifying price type with the B, and further they're enabling this X indicator they're passing for updating the prices. So these queries we are going to work on it, guys. Yeah, these statements. Is clear or any questions? Hello. Hello. Yeah. This is completely theoretical session. Just you can just go through once. I will share this PPT for all people. So, but these statements are very important. If you are good on these statements, then we can manage the maximum rep work. Even if you're not designing a wrap application, if you're going for a clean core approach, so these statements will help us. So nowadays, we are writing programs in my system like this. So if I'm going to create a sales order, I'm going to do instead of BAPI, I'm calling this. Even if it is on-premise system, in SC38, I'm writing code like this. Because the moment when I start calling BAPI, I'm getting a error, not permitted. So I don't have option. Then I need to use this option. Yeah. So any other questions, guys?